Financial investment decisions can often be a gamble, and with 3 of the 5 largest bank collapses in American history occurring in just the last few weeks, who better than INN's Larry Fillmore over at WokeBet to talk us through all the likely repercussions?
WokeBet.
Larry, some of my people are saying we're odds on for a new global financial crisis. How much can I make on that bet?
Well, sign up for a WokeBet account today, Brian, and find out. And remember, your first bet's on us, unless you win, of course. Worsen conditions apply, and always gamble responsibly. Anyway, there's a heap of money coming in from conservatives today like James Comer, Ron DeSantis and Tucker Carlson, all betting big on woke investment causing the Silicon Bank collapse, which triggered the fall of the Signature and First Republic banks as well. They're the 3rd, 4th and 2nd largest bank failures in US history, respectively. A total of $556 billion in assets down the gurgler. But woke bettors can capitalise on the crisis, with 8-1 odds on another major bank to fail within the week, or a very tasty 20-1 on a 2008-style global financial meltdown within the month, in from 50-1 just last week, Brian.
Good time to be betting against US banks. $66 billion plus failures in just the last 15 years, Larry. And billionaire venture capitalists like Peter Thiel virtually signaling their collapse to punters by suddenly withdrawing all their money.
Oh, Peter will have a lot of friends outside of these banks tonight. He basically exposed Silicon Valley Bank for being short on capital after it started selling its long-term treasury bonds that had lost value as interest rates rose. And when the rich started leaving, you can bet everyone else was moving out too, devastating a bank that had invested heavily in new tech companies and woke progressive movements. I mean, good on them and all, but if you ask any punter, they'll say they won't be back in a bank giving away $5 billion to climate advocacy or over $70 million to elevating gender and diversity groups. I mean, they're not a charity, Brian.
Are you sure? I saw a Newsweek article that said companies and corporations had donated over $83 billion to Black Lives Matter and other related groups that labeled themselves as woke. Why haven't those banks and corporations collapsed yet?
Sure, I honestly don't know anymore, mate. But if you give away more money than the GDP of 46 nations in Africa, I'd be logging into my WokeBet account today and putting my money on more collapses.
Sounds like a lock, Larry. I suppose we can bet on governments finding a way to bail out the banks again too, just like 2008.
Well, funnily enough, they're saying taxpayers will avoid the fallout this time, but I'm not sure I trust those cheeky monkeys, and that's why my money's on Wayne Calsetti's special WokeBet Taxpayer Catch-22. Take us through it, Wayne.
WokeBet. Well, I have a nice little 6-legger that's looking very juicy.
Wayne, what are you doing? I can hear you whispering something.
No, I'm on the phone with the accountant.
Sorry, mate. We only need 1 leg for this little multi to pay out. So far, the US government has announced they'll save all deposits from the failed banks without a bailout. Seized bank assets through regulators while the shareholders got wiped out. Sold the banks to bigger banks with government-backed insurance protection. Created new unlimited borrowing powers so other banks stop selling their bonds, raised interest rates to combat inflation caused by financing overseas wars, so now we sit back and wait for another billionaire to pull their money out of a bank and cause another collapse.
Wayne, you better not be talking to Larry about gambling again.
No, I'm on the phone.
I know you're on the computer.
I need to go, mate. She'll have my balls.
Come out here.
No, go, mate, I understand. Sounds like cash in the bag, though, which is a much safer place to put your money right now than a US bank, Brian.
Haha, yes. Great work, guys. And with the British government-owned Bank of England facilitating the sale of SVB UK to the historically dodgy HSBC Bank, that multi is already looking a certainty. Stay with us after the break as INN delves into the brutal world of slap fighting.
And Jane Bunyan with the Intergovernmental Report on Climate Change. Plus, a look into this year's Oscar Awards, where we might see another slap fight, Brian.
I certainly hope so, Sandy.